Welcome to Library Salad. Today's episode is Chocolate Can Be Its Own Food Pyramid, and it's brought to you by the Monroeville Public Library in Pennsylvania. Hi, I'm Alice, and Library Salad is just taking a couple, like a theme, tossing around some ideas, and speaking of vegetables, chocolate is a vegetable. In 2017, the FDA actually declared that it was because of the fact that chocolate is made from the cacao bean. The cacao bean grows on a cacao tree, and if a plant produces an edible food, it's a vegetable. It was a big day in the world when they came up with that. Some people call it a fruit. Let's not worry about that. People can call it what they want. It's still chocolate and it's still delicious. Now, chocolate is its own food pyramid. Take a look at this. See the different, it's got a total of 6 different components. Your bar group is things like your Kit Kats. Beverage group, chocolate milk, of course. Cookie group, everything from a chocolate chip to an Oreo. Cake group, I would even include with that the chocolate covered donuts. Cream filled group, those are your holiday treats. And the ever popular toasted pastry group. Now, big word for today is flavonoid. Flavonoid is a powerful antioxidant. It's got anti-inflammatory properties to it and benefits, and even helps the immune system. And because of that, there's 2 really good reasons why you want to actually eat chocolate. There's even more than that, but we need time constraints. All right, so first off is it helps you to lose weight. Neuroscientists actually say that if you take a piece of good chocolate, let it melt in your mouth as opposed to just inhaling it, that actually the brain will produce the hormones that's going to tell your body that you're full. So you have nothing to lose but trying it, getting the see that losing weight, losing people. Now, secondly, it's also supposed to be very good for memory. And here's an example of that. Each night, I have 2 squares of the dark chocolate. That's a 92% cacao. Have I ever forgotten to eat that chocolate? No, I haven't. So there is a very good example of that. And here's a little thing that going in the rest of this, we're going to have making a beverage. We're going to have making an actual chocolate pizza, and then cannolis. Let's start with the milkshake. All of these recipes that we're going to be doing today are just in links on the Facebook page that you came up on. And what I've done with the actual first making a milkshake, the recipe is calling for a lot more than this in a full blender. I've decided to just cut that in half. So what I'm doing for this peanut butter and jelly milkshake is I've only put in the half amount of 1.5 cups of chocolate ice cream. Then we've got about halving it was a 1/4 cup of peanut butter. And then I kept the full amount of milk, which was the chocolate milk. It says regular milk or chocolate milk. Go chocolate. And there's about a 1/4 cup of that. So put it all in here. And I'm just using this kind of container because the fact that I was actually going to reduce it so much. Okay, I'm going to do it tightly for those of you, you're my witnesses. And then it goes here, it twists, and
hold your ears.
Hold your ears and just sing along or something like that, just for a couple of seconds on this. And all right, there you go. Comes out. You never know what you're going to get in the birth out. All right, so we've got that. You can either put it into a whole other container. These are really meant to just do it as is. Not library salad unless we have a little bit of the Ready Whip. We're gonna need just a bit on that. Let's go, come on, new container, let's go. That's lovely. And a straw like that. The recipe I had mentioned called for actually some of strawberry jelly. So if you have your regular blender, you have another cup to the side, what you'll take is you'll take the jam and jelly, just sort of drizzle inside, then put the contents into the glass, and that's when we're going to give you the peanut butter and jelly milkshake. And now for our second creation, the chocolate pizza. First, get yourself some pie dough. You can find it in the freezer of your local grocery store. And some of the helpful hints on this is that before it goes in, they ask that you prick it just with a fork all over. I did about every ½ inch and still had some bubbles, but that's okay. It also called for 2 tablespoons of melted butter to be spread over it before it gets baked. That was too much. It actually puddled around, although I did blot it up halfway. So if you just go with 1 tablespoon of melted butter, you'll be much better off. So what do we top it with? You may have thought that this was going to be more of an actual dinner, but I'm sure you're not disappointed when the base of it is going to be some spread. So just take, I think it's about a ½ cup. And again, all these recipes are on links to the Facebook. And let's put that much, see how it goes. And it's just a matter of spreading it around a little. I think this is going to take a lot more of this. Luckily, we have some. Special shout out to Rose at the library for donating her spread to us for this. And that's all over the place. All right, so by just simply spreading it around, you get the basic gist of this. You can use a lot more. You can add a little syrup to that. And when rolling it out, as I said, that you can use one of these. You can toss it up in the air, whatever you'd like to do. So once that spread is down, you get to top it with whatever you'd like. I am just going to add some chopped up Reese's peanut butter cups. If you like nuts, sprinkle some of those around. You can do for a little extra peanut butter flavor. We've got peanut butter chips. There you go. If you want to add a little more of the chocolate, happy to have some extra mini chocolate chips. And for a little extra added color, M&Ms. Now these colors, you've got a little bit of red, some pinks, match the plate very nicely. By me saying match the plate very nicely, maybe you'd believe that was intentional. This is just a cover up for the fact that these are still have been around since Valentine's Day. But bon appetit. All right, easy like that, just cut it up. And basically if your bread's still a little warm, that'll give it a little more of a melt. And there's dinner. Now, after that chocolate pizza, next up is cannoli dessert. All right, fun fact on that. You don't just have to use the cannoli shells for this. The sugar waffle cones that you use for ice cream, you can take that and put the cannoli cream into that. If you simply want just a dip, take those waffle cones, break them up into large pieces, put them on a tray, your cannoli cream in a bowl, and then just dip it. I wanted to get the chocolate cannoli shells, which are basically out at a lot of the different stores in your neighborhood. Wanted to get the chocolate, didn't have chocolate. It's available on the internet. I wasn't going that far. So you've got your shells. One of the main ingredients is going to be the ricotta cheese. Some people say ricotta, some people say rigat. That's up to you. But the interesting thing, you may know that cheese as what goes into lasagna. It actually makes a great dessert when adding the confectionate sugar. So what we're going to do now is stuff them. And since we were talking about the fact chocolate is our topic, in the recipe, by adding some of the unsweetened chocolate, the cacao, we spoke about that. That's going to give it the chocolate flavor. And you know I still left that into the refrigerator and I didn't bring that out. So just sing amongst yourselves. I'm just going to get that, but just give it a little song for people. Nothing, we got nothing going. All right, and we're back. And we had earlier talked about chocolate and memory. Obviously, I'm going to up my amount of chocolate per night because it's supposed to be mission. Okay, so I was very surprised at the size of these. I know they're minis. Usually I get the larger ones. But when I opened this, I'm like, how am I going to possibly, and I left the bag in the refrigerator too, how am I going to stuff these? So you can take just a small Ziploc bag, cut off the end and pipe that into it. I have a regular one to pipe with. That wouldn't fit with these really small ones. So here's what we're gonna do. Pretend it's big. We're gonna take just a small, this is just like a small quarter teaspoon. So by putting it just to the ends, bringing it in, and adding the chocolate chips to it, and then just pipe it through a little bit. The key is to get it into the middle. So you're not gonna completely stuff this way. You're just gonna turn it around and a little bit like this. Get that through. And the thing is, if let's say you're having the family over, kids over, and things like that, everybody can stuff their own cannoli. The good thing about this is that there's even more chocolate that can go on. You can simply dip the ends like this. All right. And a little bit of confectioner's sugar, just a little bit of powder on the top like that. And that is extremely simple, easy to do. Picture a whole plate of that. We don't have the time for that, but you can picture how good that is. So we've learned that chocolate is very good for you. You can lose weight, your memory can improve, the fact that it's a vegetable, and the great things that you can make. You can make a beverage out of it, you can make pizza, call it dinner, and some great dessert. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Library Salad, and eat up.